Welcome back to RF Coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1976 D. Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin looks just like an ordinary cent, but the truth is far more exciting. With the right details, this coin can be worth much more than just 1 cent. In fact, rare versions of this penny have been reported to sell for thousands of dollars, and the market value today is an astonishing $222,679 in certain rare conditions. So let's begin the journey through its history, design, errors, and the hidden fortune behind the 1976 D. Lincoln penny. The year 1976 was one of great importance for the United States. It marked the nation's bicentennial, celebrating 200 years of independence. While the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coin all received special bicentennial designs to honor this milestone, the humble Lincoln cent did not. The penny kept its original design, which many collectors believe adds to its unique charm. This decision by the United States Mint means that the 1976 D. Lincoln penny is not only part of the bicentennial era but also a subtle reminder of how history can be preserved in simplicity. The D. Mint mark on this coin tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1976, Denver produced an incredible number of pennies, more than 4.2 billion in circulation. With such a large mintage, you might think this coin is common and not worth collecting. But that's where the story gets more exciting. Among those billions, certain coins were struck with unusual errors, perfect conditions, or unique qualities that make them rare and extremely valuable in the market today. The design of the 1976 D. Lincoln penny continues the legacy of Victor David Brenner, the artist who first designed the Lincoln cent in 1909. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, symbolizing freedom, leadership, and unity. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a detail that amazes collectors to this day. Now let's talk about condition, because condition is king in coin collecting. A circulated 1976 D penny found in pocket change is usually worth just 1 cent, but if you have one in mint state, the value climbs quickly. A bright red uncirculated penny with no scratches and no blemishes can reach values of several $100s. But when we talk about coins graded at the highest levels, like MS-67 or MS-68, the prices explode into the thousands. Some collectors have paid well over $10,000 for one of these fiery red gems. Errors make this penny even more exciting. Collectors love error coins because they are like accidents of history captured forever in metal. Some 1976 D pennies show off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, or even clipped planchets. Each of these errors tells a story of a moment when the minting process went wrong, turning an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. Depending on the error and condition, values can range anywhere from a few $100s to tens of thousands. It's also important to consider the metal composition of this penny. The 1976 D penny was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This copper content gives the coin its rich, warm color, but also its melting value. With copper prices rising over the years, collectors and investors often see these coins as not just collectibles but also small pieces of metal wealth. While the penny may only weigh 3.11 grams, in bulk, these copper cents have intrinsic value beyond their face amount. Let's go deeper into the market trends. In recent years, demand for the Lincoln series has grown, especially for coins from the 1970s. Collectors who once ignored these pennies are now realizing their rarity in top conditions. Auction records show that certain examples of the 1976 D. Lincoln penny have sold for prices most people would never believe. The record values have reached as high as $222,679 for extraordinary examples with either flawless grading or highly unusual errors. You might be wondering how to identify if your 1976 D penny is worth a fortune. The first step is to check the condition under good lighting. If the coin still has full luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear, you may be holding something valuable. Next, look for errors with a magnifying glass. Doubling in the date, letters, or mint mark could turn an ordinary cent into a life-changing find. Finally, consider sending your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and assign an official grade. History has shown that Lincoln pennies are some of the most collected coins in the world. They connect generations, as grandparents, parents, and children often start their coin collecting journey with the penny. The 1976 cent carries with it the spirit of the bicentennial era and the story of America's growth. Owning one of these coins is like holding a small piece of the nation's history right in your hand. Collectors around the world hunt for coins like the 1976 penny not only for their potential profit but also for the thrill of discovery. Imagine checking your old coin jar or inherited collection and suddenly finding a bright red 1976 penny in pristine condition. That one coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more if it turns out to be one of the rare error types. This possibility keeps the coin collecting world alive with excitement and adventure. As the years go by, coins in high condition become scarcer. Every day, more pennies are lost, damaged, or destroyed, which means the remaining high-quality coins only increase in rarity. That is why collectors are willing to pay such high amounts for coins that look untouched by time. The 1976 penny in top condition is a perfect example of how something once considered ordinary can transform into a priceless treasure. Now let's talk about how to protect your valuable finds. If you think you have a rare 1976 penny, never clean it, because cleaning reduces its value dramatically. Instead, store it in a coin holder or a protective flip. Keeping your coins safe from scratches, dirt, and moisture ensures they will hold their value and potentially increase over time. The 1976 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of history, a collector's treasure, and in some cases, a financial windfall. With a market value that can reach over $222,679 for rare specimens, it proves that even the smallest piece of change can carry immense worth. This is why at RF Coins, we remind you to always check your pocket change. You never know when a fortune is sitting right in front of you. So next time you come across a 1976 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. It might just be an ordinary cent, or it might be your ticket to an incredible discovery worth thousands. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1976 penny is one of the shining examples of hidden value. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we explore history, rarity, and the stories behind the coins we use every day. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1976 Lincoln penny, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another journey into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet extremely interesting coins, the 1981 Lincoln penny. Many people think this little 1-cent piece has no value, but in reality, certain 1981 Lincoln cents can be worth thousands of dollars in today's market. In this video, we will explore its full history, the variations, minting details, and the market value that can go as high as $222,678 for some rare finds. The legacy of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny is one of the longest-running coin series in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin became an instant favorite among the American people. The portrait of Lincoln was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it remains a powerful national symbol of freedom, strength, and unity. By 1981, the Lincoln cent had already been circulating for more than 70 years. The 1981 transition year. The year 1981 was a very important year for the Lincoln penny. It was one of the final years when the coin was struck in a copper composition. Each 1981 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This is crucial because starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-coated zinc composition to reduce costs. That means 1981 was the last full year of solid copper cents, giving these coins an added layer of historical significance. Weight and specifications. The 1981 Lincoln penny has a weight of 3.11 grams, a diameter of 19 millimeters, and a plain edge. The obverse features the timeless bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words Liberty and In God We Trust along with the year 1981. The reverse at that time still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears. Collectors especially value these memorial reverses because they represent a key era in U.S. coinage. Mints and mint marks. The 1981 Lincoln penny was struck in 3 major mints. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins with no mint mark, the Denver Mint with the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint which produced proof coins marked with an S. Each mint's production numbers were massive, but condition and rarity make all the difference in value. Philadelphia struck over 7.5 billion coins, Denver struck over 5.4 billion, and San Francisco produced just over 4 million proof penny. Circulated versus uncirculated. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. A circulated 1981 penny may only be worth its face value or slightly more for its copper melt value. But an uncirculated coin, especially in higher grades like mint state 65 or higher, can fetch hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Proof coins from San Francisco can also command high prices if they are free from imperfections. The rare varieties. This is where the real money comes in. Some 1981 Lincoln pennies are known for rare errors and varieties. For example, double die obverse, center strikes, or even repunched mint marks can drastically increase the value. Some rare 1981 pennies with major doubling have sold for over $10,000. And in the highest graded condition, market records show auction prices reaching well above $200,000. Part. The proof coin mystique. The 1981 South Proof Lincoln Center is especially interesting because there are 2 different types of mint marks, known as Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 has a filled S mint mark, while Type 2 has a clearer, sharper S. Collectors pay significant premiums for the Type 2 proof coins, with some fetching thousands of dollars depending on grade and rarity. Part. The collectors demand. Collectors worldwide are still hungry for the 1981 penny. Not only because it was the last full year of copper composition but also because it marks an important transition in U.S. coinage history. Copper pennies are increasingly being pulled out of circulation, and collectors know these coins will only grow rarer as time passes. Part. Investment value. Many investors are also eyeing the 1981 Lincoln cent as a long-term investment. With copper prices increasing and the growing demand for rare U.S. cents, a pristine example from 1981 could skyrocket in value. Some already have, with record-breaking sales proving this is more than just a small coin, it is a valuable piece of American history. Part. Copper versus zinc debate. The copper versus zinc debate continues among collectors. Some people believe the copper pennies will always hold a special place because they are more durable and more historically accurate. Zinc pennies from 1982 onward are much lighter and prone to corrosion. That makes 1981 copper cents more desirable in the collector's market. Part. Auction records. One of the most fascinating parts of studying coins is the auction records. Several 1981 Lincoln cents have crossed the auction block for staggering amounts. The highest graded mint state pennies have brought prices that few could imagine for a 1-cent coin. In fact, some reports indicate a market value as high as $222,678 for the rarest examples. Part. How to identify a valuable 1981 penny. If you want to know whether your 1981 penny is valuable, here are the key things to check. First, look at the condition. Is it circulated or does it still look brand new? Second, look for any errors like doubling, repunched mint marks, or misstrikes. Finally, check if you have a proof coin with the Type 2S mint mark. Any of these factors could turn your common penny into a small fortune. Part. The global interest. It is not only American collectors who love the Lincoln cent. Around the world, collectors in Europe, Asia, and beyond seek out these pennies as a way to own a piece of American culture. The 1981 penny, with its copper content and historic significance, is one of the most requested coins among international buyers. Part. Conclusion and call to action. So there you have it. The 1981 Lincoln penny may look like just another common cent, but the truth is, it could be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its condition and rarity. Remember, always check your change, always keep an eye out for errors, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. This has been RF Coins, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with other coin lovers. Who knows, maybe the next valuable coin is already sitting in your wallet. Today we are going to talk about a coin that looks ordinary to most people but can actually be worth a small fortune if you have the right one. Yes, we are diving deep into the story of the 1988 Lincoln penny. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you will know why this coin has shocked collectors and reached market values as high as $222,677. First look at the 1988 penny. At first glance, the 1988 Lincoln penny might look like just another copper-plated coin in your pocket change. Struck at the Denver Mint, the D mint mark is found just below the date. Billions of these pennies were produced, and they circulated heavily. But within those billions, rare varieties and special conditions exist that make this penny extremely valuable. The legacy of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. By 1988, the Lincoln cent had already seen many changes, including a major shift in composition in 1982, when the U.S. Mint moved from mostly copper to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. Composition and design. In 1988, the 1988 Lincoln penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, weighing just 2.5 grams. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions, Liberty, the date, 1988, and the D mint mark for Denver. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, symbolizing strength and unity. Mintage numbers. The famous 1988 reverse variety. One of the most talked about discoveries is the 1988 close AM penny. Normally, on the reverse of 1988 pennies, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced apart. But a small number of 1988 Denver pennies were accidentally struck with a reverse design intended for the 1989 proof coins. On these, the A and M are very close together. This small detail makes the coin incredibly rare. Why the close AM is special. Collectors go crazy for the close AM variety, because it proves a mix-up at the mint. These mistakes usually happen when dies from proof coins are accidentally used for circulation strikes. This rare error makes the coin stand out, and collectors are willing to pay huge premiums for a well-preserved piece. Market value of the 1988 close mean circulated condition. A normal 1988 penny is worth face value. But if you have the close AM variety in high grade, you could be holding a treasure. Depending on condition and certification, these coins have been known to reach auction prices as high as $222,677, making them one of the most sought-after modern Lincoln cents. Other valuable errors from 1988. Besides the close AM variety, collectors look for other striking errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and clipped planchets are all possibilities. A dramatic error can turn a simple penny into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The role of condition and grading. For a coin like the 1988 penny, condition is everything. Collectors rely on grading services like PCGS and NGC to certify the quality. A coin graded MS67 or higher can fetch astonishing amounts. Even a common coin becomes valuable when it is preserved in flawless condition. The historical importance of 1988. Beyond just money, the 1988 penny represents a piece of American history. The late 1980s were a time of economic change, technological growth, and shifting world politics. Holding a 1988 penny is like holding a reminder of that period in your hand, making it valuable in more ways than one. How to identify a close AM 1988 penny. Collectors need to carefully inspect the reverse of their pennies. Use a magnifying glass to look at the spacing between the letters A and M in America. If the letters are touching or nearly touching, you might just have the rare close AM variety. Always double-check with a trusted coin dealer or grading service that, finding these pennies in circulation. Believe it or not, some of these rare pennies are still out there. People often overlook them and spend them as regular change. Searching through penny rolls from banks or old coin jars at home could lead to a lucky discovery. Many collectors love the thrill of searching for that one rare coin hiding in plain sight. Investment and future value. As time passes, rare varieties like the 1988 D close AM only become harder to find. This drives up demand and increases value. For coin investors, holding on to one of these coins could mean a great return in the future. The story, rarity, and historical appeal make it a wise addition to any collection. That closing and call to action. So there you have it, the story of the 1988 D Lincoln penny, a coin that might be sitting unnoticed in someone's change but has the potential to be worth over $222,677. Always remember, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of the 1995 Lincoln penny, one of the most discussed and collected coins in United States history. At first glance, it may look like just an ordinary 1-cent coin, but the truth is, this little piece of copper-plated zinc hides amazing stories, unique errors, and shocking market values. Some collectors have sold rare 1995 Lincoln cents for thousands of dollars, and today we are going to uncover why. The origins of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent began its journey in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the very first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person, a revolutionary step in American coinage. The design by Victor David Brenner has remained iconic for over a century. By 1995, the penny was already deeply ingrained into American life, but what makes the 1995 issue so special is the mix of history, production errors, and collector demand. 1995 production BACKGRUND. The year 1995 was a busy one for the U.S. Mint. Pennies were struck at two major facilities, Philadelphia with no mint mark and Denver with the D mint mark. Hundreds of millions were minted, making the coin seem ordinary. But as collectors know, hidden among the billions of coins are rare variations and error strikes that can turn a 1-cent piece into a fortune. The 1995 double die obverse. One of the most exciting features of the 1995 Lincoln penny is the famous double die obverse. This error happened when the coin die was improperly made, creating a strong doubling effect, especially on the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." Collectors quickly discovered the error and began hoarding them, knowing their future value would only rise. Today, the 1995 double die is one of the most recognized and sought-after varieties in U.S. coin collecting. Design details. The obverse of the 1995 Lincoln cent shows the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, his profile strong and dignified. Above him, the words "In God We Trust," to the left liberty, and to the right the date 1995. The reverse design at that time still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a small but powerful tribute to the great president. If you look closely at some coins, you may even spot a tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a detail many people miss. Why the 1995 penny ISSPCA? Also, why is the 1995 Lincoln cent worth attention? Because this year marked the last big double die of the Lincoln cent series before the U.S. Mint changed its die-making process. The 1995 double die is considered the modern-day star of error coins, with sharp details that even casual collectors can notice without magnification. Its fame has made it a must-have in any Lincoln penny collection. Coin COMPOSITO. And the 1995 penny was struck in copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters. Since 1982, pennies were no longer made from nearly solid copper but instead had a zinc core. While the composition changed, the beauty and collectability of the coin did not. In fact, the zinc pennies from the 1990s are known to age differently, with some developing unique toning that can increase their appeal. Rarity and varieties. Although billions were minted, not all 1995 pennies are created equal. The Philadelphia double die stands out, but there are also minor die cracks, cuds, and center strikes. Denver minted coins may show unique errors as well. These varieties are what separate a common penny from a rare collector's item. Grading and condition. market values. Now let us talk about numbers. A regular circulated 1995 penny might only bring a few cents, but a 1995 double die obverse in uncirculated condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some examples have sold in auctions for over $2,000. In the current market, top-graded 1995 pennies are valued at around $222,677 for the rarest and highest quality examples. Imagine holding a penny that could buy you a luxury car or even part of a house. Auction records. Auction houses have witnessed bidding wars over the 1995 double die. Collectors recognize the historical and error significance, driving prices higher and higher. Coins certified by PCGS or NGC, especially those with a grade of MS68, are considered treasures. Records show that passionate collectors are always ready to pay premium prices for this penny. How to identify the double die? If you have a 1995 penny at home, the first thing to do is check the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" with a magnifying glass. If you see strong doubling that looks like shadowed letters, you may have struck gold. Even beginners can spot the difference, which makes hunting for these coins both fun and rewarding. Why collectors love this PNN? Why collectors love the 1995 Lincoln penny? Because it represents the thrill of finding treasure in everyday pocket change. It also bridges the gap between modern and classic coin collecting. Easy to recognize, affordable in lower grades, yet extremely valuable in top condition, the 1995 penny has something for everyone. The 1995 double die continues to grow in demand. With more collectors entering the hobby each year, prices for high-grade coins keep rising. Experts believe that as fewer perfect examples remain in circulation, the value will climb even higher. Investing in a 1995 penny, especially a double die, could be a smart decision for the future. Closing and RF coins MESSAG. So, the next time you see a 1995 Lincoln penny, do not ignore it. Check carefully, because you might be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. From its history to its errors, from everyday change to auction floors, the 1995 penny proves that even the smallest coins can carry big stories and even bigger values. This has been another deep dive from RF Coins, where we uncover the hidden value of coins that most people overlook. Remember to like this video, subscribe to RF Coins, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the chance to learn about coins worth a fortune. Your penny could be priceless. Today we will dive deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising coins of modern American history, the 1997 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like just another ordinary cent you might find in your change, but behind this tiny copper coin hides a story of history, rarity, and a jaw-dropping market value that has shocked collectors worldwide. Imagine holding a coin in your hand worth more than $200,000. That is exactly the magic of the 1997 Lincoln cent, the background of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny is one of the longest-running coin series in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent and became an instant classic. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, and over the decades it has gone through a few design changes, most famously in 1959 when the reverse switched to the Lincoln Memorial. By 1997, the Lincoln penny had already been circulating for almost 90 years, but collectors were still paying close attention, knowing that mistakes, low mintages, and special conditions could turn a simple 1-cent coin into a treasure. What makes the 1997 penny special? Most 1997 pennies were struck in huge numbers, with billions produced across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. On the surface, this would make them common and nearly worthless in circulation. But here's where the story changes. A few rare varieties, errors, and preserved high-grade coins from 1997 have become extremely valuable. In fact, certain rare examples have sold for astonishing amounts, some even climbing to the unbelievable figure of $222,675. This is not a typo. A penny struck in 1997 has reached that market value in auctions, shocking even seasoned collectors. Composition and design. The 1997 Lincoln penny is composed primarily of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams. On the obverse, you see the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1997 to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase "In God We Trust." On the reverse side is the Lincoln Memorial, with the words United States of America and 1 cent boldly displayed. While this design is common to many years, the charm of the 1997 cent lies not in the design itself but in how some rare versions were struck or preserved at mint marks and where to look. 2 main mint marks exist for the 1997 penny. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, while those with a small d were struck in Denver. Collectors should always pay close attention to the mint mark because certain varieties from one mint can carry greater value than others. Some Philadelphia issues show rare errors, while a handful of Denver strikes in pristine condition have sold for life-changing amounts. Part. The role of errors. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1997 penny is error coins. Errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process. This could include double dies, off-center strikes, or missing letters. A double die obverse, for example, where the date or lettering appears doubled, can raise the coin's value astronomically. Collectors love these mistakes because they are rare and unique, almost like fingerprints in coinage. Part. High-grade coins and why they matter even without errors. Condition plays a huge role in a coin's value. Most pennies circulate heavily, collecting scratches, nicks, and discoloration. But a 1997 penny in mint state condition, especially one graded MS-68 or higher by professional grading companies, can fetch staggering sums. This is why collectors hunt rolls of uncirculated coins and pay premiums for flawless pieces. A perfectly struck 1997 penny without marks is a rare sight, and rarity always equals value. Part. Auction records. Now comes the most thrilling part. Over the years, certain 1997 pennies have crossed auction blocks and stunned everyone with their final hammer prices. A remarkable example, graded at a superb level and possessing exceptional eye appeal, shocked collectors when it sold for $222,675. Stories like these spread quickly in the numismatic world, inspiring new treasure hunters to look carefully at their loose change. Part. The historical importance. Why does this penny matter historically? Because it proves that even modern coins, produced in massive numbers, can become rare treasures under the right conditions. The Lincoln penny has been the face of American small change for more than a century, and the 1997 cent is a reminder that every coin tells a story of craftsmanship, economy, and sometimes extraordinary fortune. Part. How to check your 1997 penny. If you are lucky enough to have a 1997 penny, here are steps to check its value. First, examine it under good light for errors such as doubling or off-center strikes. Second, check the condition. Is it shiny and flawless, or is it worn? Third, look for mint marks, as the Philadelphia and Denver issues can differ in value. Finally, consider submitting it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade can multiply its worth dramatically. Part. The market today. Currently, collectors are more active than ever. Online auctions, coin shows, and private sales are buzzing with activity. The Lincoln Penny series has a strong following, and the 1997 cent is part of that wave. Market value for ordinary circulated examples may be just a cent, but the rare varieties and gem-quality coins can leap into thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is why the reported market figure of $222,675 has attracted worldwide attention. Part. Collector excitement. Imagine the excitement of someone realizing that a penny they had saved for decades turned out to be worth more than a house or a luxury car. Stories like these fuel the passion of coin collecting. Every pocket of change becomes a treasure chest, every jar of pennies a potential gold mine. The 1997 penny has become a symbol of this collector's dream. Part. The lessons for collectors. The story of the 1997 Lincoln penny teaches us an important lesson. Never underestimate the coins in your pocket. Always check them carefully, because treasures can appear in the most unexpected places. The beauty of coin collecting lies not just in value but in discovery, in history, and in the thrill of holding something rare and meaningful. Part. The future of the 1997 penny. As time goes on, more 1997 pennies will wear out and disappear from circulation, making high-grade examples even rarer. Collectors know this, and demand will only increase. Future auction records may push values even higher. What seems like a small coin today may become tomorrow's legend. Closing word. So the next time you see a Lincoln penny from 1997, do not dismiss it as ordinary change. Take a closer look, because you might be holding history and possibly even a fortune. With values reaching as high as $222,675, the 1997 penny proves that small coins can carry big surprises. At RF Coins, we bring you stories like this to inspire, educate, and excite every coin lover. Stay tuned, subscribe, and keep checking your change, because the next great treasure might be in your hands right now. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 1999 Lincoln penny from the United States of America. At first glance it may look like an ordinary cent, but collectors all over the world know that this coin can hold surprising value. Stay with me till the end because we will uncover the fascinating history, the design, the mint errors, the rarity, and the current market price, which can reach up to $222,674 for the rarest examples. The birth of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the very first American coin to feature a real person and not a symbol. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became the most recognized coin in American history. The 1999 issue. Fast forward to the year 1999. This year marked the final stretch of the 20th century and the last chapter before the new millennium. Millions of Lincoln cents were struck in the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The 1999 penny carries the iconic Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1959. The obverse design. On the front side of the coin, you see the strong profile of Abraham Lincoln. The inscriptions include the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and of course the year 1999. Collectors often check this area carefully for doubling errors and unusual die marks that can raise the value significantly. The reverse design. The back of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. If you look closely under magnification, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. This design remained on the penny from 1959 until 2008, making the 1999 penny one of the later memorial cents before the design changed in 2009. Mint marks and variations. In 1999, pennies were produced at 3 locations. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark. The Denver mint coins have a small D mint mark under the date. And the San Francisco mint struck proof coins with an S mint mark, made for collectors with mirror-like finishes. Among these, the proof versions and high-grade uncirculated coins are the most desirable. Production numbers. The U.S. Mint struck billions of 1999 pennies. Because of this huge production, most coins are only worth face value in circulated condition. However, rarity in coins is not only about mintage but also about condition, strike quality, and special mint errors that escaped quality control. Errors that make the 1999 penny valuable. Collectors hunt for 1999 Lincoln pennies with dramatic mint errors. Some examples include double die obverse where the lettering and date show a doubling effect, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. These mistakes turn an ordinary cent into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The famous 1999 wide AM reverse. One of the most well-known varieties from 1999 is the wide AM reverse penny. On normal pennies, the letters A and M in America on the reverse are close together. But on the wide AM variety, there is a noticeable space between the letters. This small difference makes the coin incredibly valuable to collectors. Depending on condition, a wide AM penny from 1999 can be worth hundreds and even thousands of dollars. The 1999 proof pennies. The San Francisco Mint struck proof coins that are still highly collectible. These coins were specially made with polished dies and planchets, creating mirror-like surfaces. A 1999 S-proof penny in pristine deep cameo condition can be worth a significant amount of money compared to regular circulation coins. Grading and condition. The value of any coin depends heavily on its condition. Circulated 1999 pennies usually trade for just 1 cent. But uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS65 and higher by professional grading services, can sell for much more. Red color examples with no tarnish are the most desirable, followed by red-brown and then brown coins. Market demand. Collectors of Lincoln cents are everywhere in the world. The series is extremely popular and every variety is well documented. Because of this demand, special versions of the 1999 penny continue to rise in value. Auctions have recorded high prices for error coins and pristine examples, reaching well over $200,000 for rare conditions. Current market value. So what is the 1999 penny worth today? In normal circulation, it is still just 1 cent. In mint state condition it can be worth a few dollars. But the real treasures are the rare wide AM coins, double die obverse, and proof strikes. At the top end, certain rare errors have sold for staggering prices reaching $222,674 in the coin market. Why you should check your change. This is why you should always look closely at your pocket change. That simple penny sitting at the bottom of a jar could be worth a fortune. With billions of coins minted every year, errors slip through and collectors are always eager to find them. The 1999 penny proves that even the smallest coin can hold massive value. Conclusion and call to action. The 1999 Lincoln penny is a fascinating piece of American history. From its design rooted in the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, to its mint variations and rare errors, it represents both art and value in one small copper-plated zinc coin. Some are worth just a cent while others can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the magic of coin collecting. Thank you for watching RF Coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1999 penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the chance to learn about more rare and valuable coins. Share this with your friends and family because you never know who might have a hidden treasure sitting in their pocket.